West Nile virus is back. We're all gonna die. No, pump the brakes. We're gonna talk about how if you live in Richardson or Rowlett, Texas, or surrounding areas, and you've been on social media at all, you've probably been seeing headlines just like this. Oh, West Nile virus is on the rise. We're all gonna die. And this article is actually written by me. And if this is your first time seeing any of our content, welcome. My name is Griffin Thomas. I own the pest control company Preferred Pest Management out of the Plano, Texas area. I started it in Rowlett, Texas back in 2020. And on this channel, I just kind of give overall article summaries and just videos to try to help you guys out, not just with mosquito season, but anything pest control related, termite control, wildlife, all those different type of things in the Plano, Texas area, Rowlett, Richardson, all these different type of areas that we have a lot of common pest problems in. And the whole point of today's video is not to like sell you guys on our mosquito service or anything whatsoever, because as a matter of fact, I tend to be overly realistic with expectations when it comes to our mosquito program. But more so, I wanted to post this video just to kind of like allow everybody to take a breath, because when we see, articles that are published by like the city of Rowlett, and I don't remember if Richardson came out with one, but just, different news articles about West Nile virus being spotted in Richardson and Rowlett, they tend to be very vague. Now, I will give City Rowlett credit. They were very proactive in terms of, one, as soon as this was announced, they got it out on social media as soon as possible, and they actually reported it like verbatim the right information. I even actually quoted them in here, I believe. If not, I'll have to remember to link it at the end of the article. But like it says here, on May 29, Dallas County officials confirmed West Nile positive mosquito pools in Rowlett and Richardson, part of a growing pattern that began with Irving earlier that week. Of course, if you're relatively newer to the area, Irving is, kind of like West Dallas, Northwest Dallas to a degree, not too far from DFW Airport. And then, of course, the city of Rowlett released the notifications that I just referenced here a minute ago in zones 2 and 7, stating that mosquitoes testing positive for West Nile virus have been discovered in Rowlett. And I actually did quote their Facebook page. I knew I did. And the good thing about the towns down here in the DFW area and really Texas as a whole is they hit the ground running. As soon as these mosquitoes are being spotted, they're doing things like you see, Richardson's health department has also scheduled spraying in key areas following the positive trap results. And again, I linked all these. I'll make sure to link my entire article that's on our website, preferredpestmanagement.org, in the description box of this video. So if you want to see any of the actual sources that like I got all of our information from, Dallas News, Kara News, all these different news sources, they're all in the article. But the most important point that I have to mention is, as you see, so far no human cases have been reported, but this viral activity puts communities on a high alert phase. And like I said, if you want to dive into the whole article, we give you, why this is important for you and your family, the 4Ds, how our mosquito program can actually benefit you, especially if you notice a ton of mosquitoes in your yard, of course. But I'm not going to like read the whole article or anything like that. If you want to go through, I believe it's like a 5 to 6 minute read. I try to make these relatively quick and straightforward to the point and, give you guys resources to the information that I find. But my main reason for posting this, like I said, is, as of now, or at least as of I last looked into the information just a couple days ago, there have been no reported human cases, thankfully. And you have to consider, guys, whenever they are testing these mosquitoes, they're like not testing, just a couple mosquitoes. They're usually testing thousands of mosquitoes at a time. And I don't have direct access to like the information of what actually triggers them to let everybody know, but I'm pretty sure, at least from other cities and other metroplexes, it takes more than, just one or a couple mosquitoes that have West Nile for them to actually sound the alarms. But it also doesn't take like hundreds or anything like that for them to do it either. So you got to think in terms of percentages. If they're pooling, say, even just 1,000 mosquitoes for an easy number, and then it only takes something like, 20 of them, we'll say like 2% of them testing positive for West Nile for them to actually sound these alarms, then yes, there is still a risk. You want to be on high alert, especially if you live in these zones, which, if I remember right, the link to the City Rowlett Facebook link there, that post actually shows every single zone. So I definitely, like I said, suggest you guys take a look. Just make sure that you don't live in any of these zones. If you do live in these zones, though, like I said, it's not something that you need to like just avoid outside. But like we mentioned in this article, there is things that you can do, to just kind of manage the situation, stay up to date on the news, all that type of stuff. And all in all, with a combination of what the city is doing to be proactive on the situation, well, I guess more so reactive in this case, but along with if you follow the things that, we mentioned in this article, as well as, look at getting any type of mosquito service, it doesn't even have to be with us. If you want to try us out, we use only the best products on the market. We're constantly tooling our chemicals every year and trial and error on our own homes to see like what works best, what doesn't work at all, so we don't push that out. And we usually achieve upwards of about an 80 to, in some cases, even closer to 90% overall drop in mosquito activity per polling of our customers over the years. Hopefully, if nothing else, like I said, I just wanted to more so just kind of calm anyone down who may be kind of freaking out about the West Nile outbreak in the Rowlett and Richardson and even Irving, and I think a couple other towns now. They're starting to notice, a little bit more of this activity. But like I said, you don't want to take it lightly. Obviously, if you live in the zones that are affected, be smart, right? But at the same time, it's not something that you need to like lock yourself in the house over or like put your entire life on pause. Like you can go outside and get your mail. I promise you're going to be okay more than likely, like 98, 99% likely. So hopefully you did take some valuable information from the video, like all of them that I post here. If you did, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up button and feel free to share the video with somebody if you live in any of these areas, Rowlett, Texas, Richardson, Texas, or anywhere in the DFW Metroplex. Because like I said, I published this article, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, roughly, and I know there's been even a couple more towns starting to pop up as of late that have some of this activity. So if you know anyone that's freaking out, feel free to share this video with them. Hopefully it calms them down as well. And like I said, if you want to try out our mosquito program or anyone's, obviously you can try anybody's, but if you want to try ours out, give us a call. Our number is 214-978-3877, and it's all over our website, which, like I said, I'll link this article specifically down in the description box down below. We have forums and, call now buttons all over. So if you want to get in touch with us, feel free to do so. Go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss any helpful videos like this. And I'll try to make sure to link some videos somewhere, either right above my face here or somewhere maybe over here, somewhere over here that could also benefit you in terms of pest control in the DFW Metroplex.